Pats Nation, what is going on? Patriots Global here with some breaking news on this early morning as the New England Patriots have potentially figured out the quarterback situation for the 2021 season as we approach free agency in just a couple of days. New England has re-signed their quarterback from the 2020 season in Cam Newton for a one-year contract worth up to $14 million. Guys, this contract tells us a lot more than what meets the eye. We're going to get into what this means for the Patriots in this video. So watch the video through and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots needs. A lot of moves are already happening and nothing but more moves is going to continue to happen throughout the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be updating you guys as fast as humanly possible. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. But yes, guys, Superman is back with the New England Patriots. Whether you wanted to see it or you didn't want to see it, he's back. And this is something that I think for the most part we saw coming. At least I tried to tell you guys this was likely going to be a move that the New England Patriots made. So to be completely honest, I'm not surprised with this move at all. Back a couple months ago, I kind of predicted it was going to be a 2-year contract. I wouldn't have minded a 2-year contract, but the 1-year contract also does make a lot of sense, and it makes a lot of sense why the Patriots did decide to bring in Cam Newton. Let's keep in mind that the Patriots are going to need to entice free agents to want to come and play here, right? It used to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not here anymore. Nobody wants to come into a system in a franchise where you don't know who the starting quarterback is, especially if you are a pass catcher, especially if you're an elite pass catcher because, you don't want your statistics to go down. So the New England Patriots now knowing who their quarterback is will help free agents decide on if they want to sign with the Patriots or if they don't. Honestly, signing Cam Newton was one of the best options for the Patriots in the sense of enticing players to want to come and play here. If it came down to Cam Newton or Jimmy Garoppolo, I guarantee you more players are going to want to play under Cam Newton. If it came down to Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota, it's Cam Newton. Say what you want about his 2020 play. Say what you want about Cam Newton as a player in general. He is a highly respected player throughout the league and is a highly respected player within the New England Patriots locker room and franchise. We heard that the New England Patriots did want to have their quarterback situation somewhat figured out at least as they approach the start of free agency. Their big thing was that they did not want to go into free agency not knowing who their quarterback was. And I couldn't agree with that more because, again, if players don't know who they're playing for, they don't know who's throwing them the ball, they're not going to necessarily be in a rush to sign with the organization unless Belichick is offering them $20+ million a year. Now, as for the contract, we will continue to get more details. This is still pretty new information here as I'm recording it, but around $14 million. That is more than he made last year. I believe last year it was up to $11 million that he could make. But if this is one of those situations where it's incentive-based, then I highly agree with the contract, right? If he's flat out making $14 million, I don't agree with it, but I don't think that is a contract Bill Belichick would actually give Cam Newton straight off the bat. So I do believe that this will be highly incentive-based, kind of like it was last year. We'll have to see what the incentives are, but of course it will be most likely based off of the amount of games he plays, the amount of snaps he plays, the amount of rushing yards he has, touchdowns, passing yards, stuff like that, which if he reaches these milestones will get more money. I'm also hearing that the base salary that he's making could potentially be less than what he got straight off the bat with New England in his contract in 2020. So if those rumors are correct, the base salary Cam Newton will be making will be less, or what he's making right now for this 2021 season as a base salary would be less than it was in the base salary in 2020, but the overall money is more than it was in 2020. Now, Newton was signed by the Patriots pretty late into the process. Now, This past offseason was a train wreck in general for the NFL. There really was no offseason except for a couple of weeks of training camp, which luckily enough, Cam Newton was there for that, but he was signed very late into the process, which means they had to move very fast pace with Cam Newton. And if you know the Patriots system, you know that it is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, to learn in all of football. In fact, Cam Newton actually compared the Patriots playbook and learning it to, it was like math or physics or geometry or something like that. I believe it was geometry he compared it to. Throughout the first few games, Cam Newton was looking like a candidate for comeback player of the year. Then he went down, of course, with COVID, and he did not come back the same. Ultimately, Cam Newton played 15 games for the Patriots in 2020. He had 368 pass attempts. He completed 242 of those for a completion percentage of 65.8 with 2,657 yards. That was actually the worst of his entire career, minus the 2 games he played in Carolina of 2019. He threw for only 8 touchdowns with 10 interceptions. A long pass of 50 yards, had an astounding 137 rush attempts for 592 yards. He put up 12 touchdowns on the ground with a long run of 49 yards, averaging 4.3 yards per attempt. By no means is Cam Newton going to be the starter for the New England Patriots. Now, I want to make that very clear. I do believe the Patriots will still go in other avenues to look for quarterbacks, but they're not holding their breath. You know, if Jimmy Garoppolo is to be released, or they can fleece some type of trade, which I'm not huge on, but if that's something Belichick does, you know, that could be a route that they still decide to go. Maybe they draft a quarterback. But the Patriots are trying to be smart and to not wait for a potential quarterback to come, and at least making sure that they have insurance. That is the big thing with Cam Newton. I believe that he is an insurance policy in case things do not go well. And look, even if they do bring in another quarterback, they bring in a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Ryan Fitzpatrick, they draft a quarterback, I believe that it will still be a quarterback competition, that they won't just flat out release Cam Newton, but it will be a battle for who will get that starting job. Now, to be a little bit more optimistic for Cam Newton as we enter the 2021 season, the NFL is expected to have a full offseason. OTAs, minicamp, training camp, all of that great stuff. So he will have a full offseason with New England and under this system. Cam Newton even said that by the end of the season, he still didn't know the playbook. He was still struggling with it. So now for him to have another year, a second year with the team could be super beneficial, as they can really work on plays with Cam Newton one-on-one for several months before the start of the season. They can base some plays around him, and they can make sure that he's very comfortable within the playbook and can build chemistry with his receivers. That's the big thing. Cam Newton really wasn't able to build chemistry with his receivers. The only time he was really able to do so was the regular season. The beginning of the season was Cam Newton trying to build chemistry with these guys. Now he's going to be able to do it for an entire offseason, and very much likely will have an upgraded cast. Upgraded cast of wide receivers, upgraded cast of potentially tight ends, maybe even running backs. He should perform much, much better. Now, this one-year deal also does tell me that the New England Patriots aren't necessarily committed to Cam Newton for the future. They kind of want to see what he has. Again, they're kind of using him as an insurance policy. So my question for the team is going to be, for this one-year deal, do they have another idea under their belt that we don't possibly know about? Are they bringing Cam Newton back to start potentially the 2021 season? And maybe are they going to draft a quarterback that they're going to redshirt for this year and then make the starter in 2022? Some big questions here, but we know that Cam Newton is back with New England for a year and could potentially be the starting quarterback for the 2021 season. If he is a starter, I think it's going to be super exciting to see Cam Newton versus Tom Brady. Tom Brady coming back to Foxborough, but the Patriots also do play the Panthers this upcoming season, so Cam Newton will face his old team. Now, before Cam did get COVID, the Patriots were working a lot with him on his throwing mechanics, and it looked like, it was settling in with him, that he was becoming a much better, accurate thrower. And then when he was kind of getting out of it, as, he wasn't throwing the ball that often because he was in COVID, his muscle memory kind of got back into how he usually throws before the Patriots worked with him. So maybe if they can work on those throwing mechanics with him for an entire offseason, he can kind of retrain his body and we can see a much better and improved thrower in Cam Newton. Before we end this video off, I do want to talk about the sponsors and my boys over at betonline.ag. Now, BetOnline has the fastest and easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are a full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. They also have real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all of the news, scores, and odds. And guys, it is the best way to place your bets. It is completely free to sign up. All you got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device and sign up today to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit using that promo code CLNS50. Guys, this is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action. Don't forget to use that promo code CLNS50 for a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Y'all, Cam Newton is back for another season, a one-year deal worth up to $14 million. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news as we enter free agency and the draft. Big things are going to happen. Turn on your bell notifications. But like always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.